This June 2011 superhero effort from Martin Campbell was a high-profile disappointment for DC Comics, after the $200 million production only earned $219 at the box office. The PG-13 rated story opens with a CGI-heavy prologue, which unloads an overbearing amount of exposition. Those unfamiliar with the film would be forgiven for assuming this is an animated feature rather than live action. The excessive use of overly glossy visual effects are that bad. The handsome Ryan Reynolds stars as an irresponsible fighter pilot who is granted a mysterious alien ring that gives him fantastic abilities, and a place among an intergalactic police force known as the Green Lantern Corps. I've been a fan of Ryan since his early days on Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, and he's certainly capable here, playing a reckless womanizer who is baffled at his new gifts. But besides a tragic childhood event, we don't learn much about him. He shares a few moments of fleeting chemistry, though, with his future off-screen wife, the timelessly beautiful Blake Lively. Elsewhere, Peter Sarsgaard does convincing work as a misunderstood and menacing villain with telekinetic powers, while Mark Strong barks his usual bravado as an unforgiving alien co-worker who reminds Reynolds, fear is the enemy of will.
Next lesson. Feel that? It's the gravitational pull of your average sun. Makes flying through space very dangerous. The bigger you are, the quicker you burn. Gravity's a bitch. Here, let me help you. Remember, your enemy, he's not gonna play fair.
That's good advice.
Angela Bassett, Tim Robbins, Jeffrey Rush, Clancy Brown, Michael Clark Duncan, and J.O. Sanders populate the large supporting cast, but none have anything substantial to do. In fact, several are abandoned entirely, including a nephew character who is never heard from again after his initial introduction, or Reynolds' best friend who plays a pivotal role early but doesn't have a single line of dialogue after the 60-minute mark. Similarly, no one's motivation is adequately explained, including a pointless mid-credits tease for a sequel that would never be, which sees one character ignoring everything about the film for no discernible reason. When the few action sequences do arrive, however, they're particularly inventive and generally stimulating, especially a climactic face-off against a cloud of evil incarnate that threatens to consume Earth itself. Green Lantern's extended cut opens with a decently emotional chapter involving the tragic death of our protagonist's father, but it never should have been re-included, as a shorter flashback only a few minutes later conveys the same information in a much stronger way. The scene that separates these two redundant sequences is a grippingly shot and thrilling aerial dogfight that feels like a fun, modern-day twist on Top Gun, where Reynolds attempts to outthink and outmaneuver AI-flown aircraft. When the focus is on Ryan, the narrative is compelling and, more importantly, relatable, but frequent cutaways to these purple-skinned space police ruin the pacing of the lengthy 2-hour film. An over-reliance on computer effects sees most of these non-human characters existing decidedly at the bottom of the uncanny valley, making it hard to take any of their dialogue seriously. The actual shooting style of the film works well, though, framing our actors in wide two-shots with colorful backgrounds, while the score from James Newton Howard fits the mood appropriately. Much like its central character, this movie has flashes of greatness that are unfortunately held back by its own shortcomings. The concept and imagery is certainly interesting, though, which is why a planned reboot for 2020 might not be a terrible idea. I enjoyed seeing this picture, even if it wasn't anything special. Green Lantern mishandles a flashy character with inconsistent results. And here's some of your reviews from the YouTube comments. You were critical of the story and conflicted on the visuals, rating this a 4 out of 10. I thought it was alright myself.